Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's good to be here and I hope you're doing well. I'm bringing you some more Terracards content today. And we're just going to play around with an elixir slime build. Now I kind of call this my redemption tour because I did try this some time ago. It was actually one of my first few Terracards videos and I failed miserably. We did successfully manage to get, more elixir slimes on the board than I even knew what to do with. But their excessive water cost ultimately sunk our entire run. So I'm going to try to learn from the past here, learn from past mistakes, and see if we can't do a more successful elixir slime run. The elixir slime is cool. You get them with drunken chickens and a bird's nest. So obviously chickens are part of the build. The bird's nest is part of the build. And we're going to see how many elixir slimes we can get. Elixir slimes produce elixir. And it should help us, of course, break the game. At least hopefully. That's the thought. That being said, if you're new here, please like and subscribe. We're a new channel and, just doing our best to produce some fun and thoughtful and entertaining content. Really appreciate you being here. Let's see if we can take this elixir slime build to the moon. Obviously, anything with the destination of the moon requires fuel and water and energy. So we're going to kind of get an infrastructure in place right now. I think it's important, obviously, given what happened last time, of course, the excessive and sheer insanity from a water cost standpoint. We want to make sure we have that addressed and the framework down before we essentially fall into the same trap. So we'll see. We do get the watery tree here. That's a big card to get early on. It goes really well with the sunflower blue wheat combination. Here, as you can see, with the 208 water and just rising, the more blue wheat you put in proximity. So it's a really hard thing to ignore early on. If the game gives you the blue wheat sunflower, would highly recommend going in that direction. So one aspect of this build here is grapes. So the elixir slime gives you grapes cards at 50% clip. Grapes take no water, but they take 10 fuel each and produce equivalent to the fuel surplus, but they cannot be used in structures. So I almost wrecked the run here by going field grapes, but I should not go field grapes because grapes cannot be used in structures. We'd have a heck of a time producing wine, wouldn't we? So we'll go with elite cows. I mean, we don't really have plans for cows here, but going field grapes there does just destroy this. Makes it infeasible. So we get grapes. We'll go ahead and take grapes. And let's hope that kind of leads to a juicer. So we'll start a little grape island here in the middle. Now we're looking for, obviously we need chickens. I'll take a watery tree. We'll go ahead and grab that. I'll actually hold off, put 2 watery trees right there, and continue to surround it with sunflowers. Get a nice little energy infrastructure in place here. So let's go watery tree there. Might as well play this water well too. Mill silo wheat. More watery trees. Let's grab the sunflowers. We can continue to just boost our island here. So we are going to need a juicer and a fermenter here. And also a bird nest. Another good option here would be a watery, or not a watery, a water tank, that is, to really boost the production of those grapes. giving us additional wine production, of course. But we'll kind of see how the drawing plays out here. More watery trees. The game is just hooking me up with enough water. I think they're trying to say, don't make the same mistake again. Get the water taken care of, and the game will take care of me. Well, I'm gonna listen to the game this time, and we're gonna do it. Alright, we do get the juicer here. That's good to see. You like to see that early. Sometimes these buildings are very elusive. So feeling really good about our overall energy production. And of course water production as well. But now we need to start making some money. Keep drawing the same fences, it seems. More watery trees, goodness. This game is just really hooking me up with watery trees. I mean, it's kind of hard to turn down. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's see, what are we rocking with in our hand? One juicer. We have plenty of these small fences. I mean, I could start putting in the small fences. I'd prefer medium fences. But sometimes the game just gives you the small fence and you gotta take it. The small fence with home sweet home, and even without, can still fit a lot of chickens. So I don't think it's the worst move. So we need... If I'm gonna throw a water tank here, we're gonna need 4. Otherwise, we're just gonna get 2 from these grapes here. Why don't we just hold on to that for now? Let's throw it down right there. Did get the juicer. I forgot to plate though. That's my bad. Can start getting our first chickens, but that's not really going to be useful because we actually need corn before we can feed our chickens. So on the lookout for corn as well. Veganism, our build will not be a veganism build, although it's a very strong skill, of course. So let's grab wheat expansion, and this will enable us to just throw a few pieces of wheat down here and grow that. Throw them here as well and grow that. Might as well play our watery trees to just permanently solve our water problems. So our juicer needs fuel. We have fuel wheat here. That would be a good solution. Otherwise, fuel corn too. Well, let's go fuel wheat. It does work with our little wheat expansion buff. We like to see that. So why don't we go ahead and just kind of add it here. Let's add a few islands of it. Really get some fuel production going. Let's add a third island of it as well. Keep that expanse. I guess we'll throw this here too. Alright, juicers. So we do get 2 more juicers. I don't think that's the right play. We need the fermenter, we need the bird nest, we need chickens, we need corn, we get sunflowers. Alright game, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I get it. The game's telling me, do this build, but make 3,000 water a turn while you're doing it, so you don't run out of water. That's what the game's telling me. And sometimes, when the game speaks, it's important to listen. So we're gonna listen. We have to start making some income though. So we got some barns here. We need corn. We need it desperately need corn. Need a nice, fat 11 stack of chickens. That'd be great. Watery tree, I love ya, but we're good on that. Let's grab some chickens even though they can't produce anything meaningfully yet without the corn. But that'll be okay. we're gonna go ahead and grab them. Some more fuel wheats. So we're gonna start filling up our fences here with our chickens. And also continue to fill out our islands here with the sunflowers. 8,100. Kind of a big deal when you're making as little as what we're making currently anyways. I mean, we don't really need the fuel wheat, but I also don't really want it in my hand either. But I don't really want to spend the 7k, so we'll just hold on to it. Sugarcane, sunflower, I mean, barn would be a real nice play here too. But we need certain things, like corn. Corn is definitely something that we need. So let's go ahead and grab it. So corn is something worth expanding for. And once we get this colony launched, we can be a lot more reckless with our income. We gotta be careful here. So lake would be a good choice, but our water is just fine for right now. Might be famous last words. Got a few barns here. I mean, we could certainly grab the barns. Wouldn't be the worst idea. It really wouldn't, given where our water production's at. So let's grab a few barns. It is 2 of them. I see it as something to kind of hold on to. And it'll be a nice little piece of the future jigsaw puzzle that we put into place. Alright, really looking for more chickens here. Looking for a bird nest. For a fermenter. And willing to roll into one. Okay, here's a bird nest. That's great. Also the water tank. Let's get the bird nest, because what the bird nest is going to do is it's going to enable our chickens to essentially give us more chicken cards for free. You'll love to see that. Just have to get it in our hand here. An expensive expansion without a doubt, but we have to do it. Get more corn on the board. Here's the bird nest. Let's throw that down right there. Here's our fermenter. We get 2 of them actually. That's lovely. Home sweet home. Perfect. Couldn't have come at a better time. We get the bird nest in place, and then we get the home sweet home buff, so we can just fill these up with chickens now. We'll start producing some wine right here real shortly. Which means we're going to start getting elixir slimes as well. So here we go. The chickens have drunk the wine, and now they are intoxicated. So what does the drunk chicken do, you're probably asking? Well, the drunk chicken lays an elixir egg, okay? The elixir egg goes into the bird nest, and it will sometimes give you an elixir slime card. You can play the elixir slime card, and then you have a 50% chance of getting a grapes card every turn, and it also produces an elixir. The one watch out, of course, with the elixir slime is the 15 water cost. That's crazy. And with some of the essence rewards that, you know, double animal water production or water costs and all that kind of stuff, it can get out of control in a hurry. So we want to be careful. I'm going to throw down a barn right here though. And that'll just boost up the chicken's production a little bit. So we do have our first elixir slimes coming on the board. Let's grab our giant sunflower though. You only get 1 of them, and it's important to grab it. So now what we have is tons of chickens to play every single turn. And what we're just not making enough wine to get all of our chickens intoxicated. So we're going to have to definitely ramp up the wine production. And we can do that with some grape islands here and a juicer, right? So that's where the small fences actually do come into play and are pretty useful. So I think it's important to get some elixir slimes on the board for sure. So we can actually mix them in with our chickens. Shouldn't be a problem with that. Of course, the watch out there is watch their water cost, especially when it's up against a barn here. So we're gonna be careful. We're gonna learn from the past. We're going to learn from our mistakes. We are getting 10 elixir. Definitely want a whole lot more, but our water surplus is mighty, so we can just keep pumping these fences full of our elixir slimes. We're also getting grapes, which is great. So we can go ahead and put this island here. We'll start filling this up with the grapes. It'd be good to get our giant sunflower down as well. Making about 6 grand a turn. I think we'd be okay. I think we'd be okay playing our giant sunflower. Should be alright. Let's throw a few more chickens down. And then let's kind of monitor. Let's monitor kind of what we're getting each turn. We're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting 5 elixir slimes per turn. We're getting about 4 grape cards per turn as well. So we're in the market for another juicer for sure. We have another fermenter on hand, which is great to have on hand. So thinking future wine production, of course. And then the play here is just to continue to play elixir slimes. Seems as if we're going to get 5 every single turn. And that's going to help us ramp up our elixir production. What are we looking for here? We're looking for a juicer. Melter for some popcorn. If we get the popcorn buff, that would be useful. That means we have to expand. And we have to hold 2 melters in our hand. We get our juicer right here. Perfect. You love to see that. We're going to go ahead and grab that juicer. We're going to put it in place right here. Get a little more wine production and further intoxicate these chickens. And entice them to, of course, lay more drunken eggs. Elixir eggs, I should say. So let's get grapes. Let's see if maybe we can't pull a water tank. I mean, it'd be nice to have 2 water tanks here, if I'm being honest. But maybe with all of the buildings already kind of on this island, it doesn't make sense. So let's fill out this island with grapes. Get our elixir slimes in place. I'm just going to kind of hold on to the chickens for now. Put a juicer right there. Throw the grapes in there. And let's just kind of assess. Alright, so the chickens are getting more and more intoxicated. It looks like there's still just some regular ones there though. 33 elixir eggs, 35 elixir. So this is where we really have to kind of just launch this thing. I think the elixir slimes themselves are going to be numerous enough to where we don't necessarily need more drunk chickens. It doesn't seem like we really need more drunk chickens. We're getting 5, 6 elixir slimes every single turn, which is great. Could just simply take more grapes here. Why don't we do that? Again, we're keeping a keen eye on our water costs. Wouldn't want to lose the run right when we kind of got it off the ground. So I'll go ahead and throw some more grapes here. Just barely have the money to expand, but that's alright. We do have another barn. That's a terrifying proposition to throw down another barn, but How much elixir are we getting per turn? 45. Okay. Elixir eggs. If we want to see this increase, we need to really go all in on the elixir slime and the elixir creating potential of the elixir slime. Need 44k to expand. I believe we're making a decent amount of money now. Definitely better than where we were about 25 turns ago or so. We're on the precipice of another essence reward here soon. So maybe we can get something that will buff up animals. No, obviously right here like is a solid spot for a lake, right? Need more fencing as well. Watery trees. Could certainly do that to sort of stave off the creeping water cost. You know, do something smart like learn from the past. Could do that. Could expand down here and throw some more grapes in here to get more wine production. Looks like we actually have some excess wine, meaning all of our chickens are effectively wasted now. You'll love to see it. Alright, so we're kind of in a position here where we do have another fence here. So we could go right here. We could start filling this with elixir slime as well. Let's do that. It's right by the barn. Maybe get a lake in here eventually, either right here or right here. And then we'll also wanna expand as well. But we can throw some grapes right here as well to get additional wine production. And let's enter turn there. To get our watery tree in hand. So let's throw that right here. Get a little extra water income. Keep pumping out our slimes. And grapes. Making 17k a turn now. Really like to see us build up a little bankroll here. Let's put down our watery tree. Really don't like when my hand gets this large. Very overwhelming. Hard to see what you have in your hand. Makes you kind of want to play as much as you can, even to your own demise sometimes. More blue wheat. Let's see. We need more sunflower, if anything. Let's roll past that. Medium fences, yep. You betcha. We'll take those. $84 elixir now, going for 5 grand. Very water intensive for the value it gives, of course. So I can keep a little spot open on this island here for another juicer. So if we see a juicer, we're going to want to grab it because we can always just fill around this island here. Otherwise, we do have a fermenter. So we could actually just go forth. Yeah, why don't we just go forth and start a new little wine producing operation when we get there. Maybe wine that isn't immediately consumed by drunken chickens. So let's just kind of assess. We're making 20k. So that's not bad at all. But I think expanding the elixir slime is the more important thing versus getting more grapes down. So to do that, we need the fence that is in our hand that we just haven't drawn yet. Fuel cow's not going to do us any good. Another fermenter, we have that. It's the juicer that we need. So we'll take more corn. Can't go wrong there. So let's get some of that corn in our hands. We did get our medium fence as well. You'll love to see that. Especially with a hand that's so overwhelming. So we want to ideally leave a spot for lakes, for sure. I mean, lakes are going to be key. If I expand twice, I spend all of the income. So we're going to have to... We'll go here. This is our future lake spot. I should be okay if I expand again. But I'm not going to chance it. Field grapes again. This is just trolling me for sure. +2 hand size. Corn uses energy. It's 5 gold to all corn. I don't really think hand size is a concern here. Concern is just too many darn cards. So let's go ahead and get another medium fence down and start pumping that full of these elixir slimes. And then we're gonna have to figure out a play for our grapes. I want to go lake here though for sure. Lake right in the middle is probably the best thing I could do for myself right now. I mean, let's go with the biofuel generator that we absolutely do not need at all. The new re-rolling cost, man, I tell ya, gets spendy. So I'm looking for something that will boost these elixir slimes, right? Like get them, like send them into orbit, right? So they're really not making a ton of elixir if you look at them, right? 2, and that's doubled up by the barn. So they're making 2 elixir for the excessive and absurd water cost of 30. And the elixir, I mean, it sells good, but we're just not making enough of it. So that's kind of the first observation here. So how do we really double down, triple down, quadruple down on the elixir slime production? I think getting multiple barns in place is a good idea, but of course that does really take your water production to the moon as well. So there's a few different things at play. I think essence reward is probably the solution. And limiting our rerolls, because if we re-roll our extra funds away, then we're not going to be able to expand. And you don't like that because we're going to have to expand. So we could expand here and throw more grapes. They'll feed into the juicer. So why don't we do that? Whoops. Put the field wheat down. That's okay. That's what happens when you have a million cards in your hand, I suppose. Alright. So I feel like this build, I mean, it's definitely not as strong as some other builds, that's for sure, right? I mean, we could have just gone cows, giant cows, pasteurized milk, yogurt, carrot yogurt, and the game would have been busted already, right? But we like to play around with some things. More barns. Yeah, I'll take more barns. Looking toward the future for that, obviously. We definitely have the water. The water is absolutely still under control. But the cost of expansion is definitely creeping up on us. So we're gonna get there. Let's go more corn. So now is as good a time as ever to throw down a barn here. Yikes. That was an insane amount of water, folks. Like this right here, I don't know. I don't know how much that is. But that's like all of our water surplus. So of course we have to watch out for that. This is where you desperately need a lake. In fact, I'm kind of stuck without getting a lake. A lake needs to go right here. And then we can continue throwing barns out. A lake is the penultimate card we can get right now. Just absolutely need it. Watery tree, I see what you're doing, game. I appreciate it. Let's see if we can't get a lake. Water tank. Go good with our grapes. Give it a little bit of water. Either that or I'm gonna roll away our entire income. And I suppose getting a melter down wouldn't be the worst idea either. Let's get a corn island here. A little spendy, but I think that'll be alright. Fermenter, we get another barn here. Need a lake. Could also use sunflowers too. That will help with water production. But we need a lake, folks, before we can really do anything more meaningful. So here's a great spot. That is costly, but I think it's necessary. Down some sunflower action. Lake. Nothing. Suppose we'll go field corn. Don't love that play. Veganism, rabbit apprentice, chocolate addiction. Animals get plus 20 production per chocolate bar eaten. If we can somehow get an Easter bunny on the field, that's going to be really useful. We don't need this. That's not applicable. Let's go chocolate addiction and see. I mean, if an Easter bunny comes around and we can get boosted production from our elixir slime, like, that wasn't a small sum. That was plus 20, right? So then you go from 4 elixir to 24. It's pretty significant. So let's see if we can't. Let's keep our eyes peeled. Maybe the Easter bunny comes a little early this year or something, you know? Corn. Just have to get these staple crops out of our hands. We're just waiting on a lake here, folks. Unfortunately, we kind of have to. I mean, is there a water chicken play? I think all of our fences are full. Let's get a lake here. Let's go. Can throw another medium fence here. We can certainly start putting more elixir slime in place. Just looking for that lake. Then we can use the barn that is still in our hand to get another multiplier on these guys. Silo transport tube. The transport tube is going to do absolutely nothing. Reroll once. Watery tree, sure, I suppose. It's like, what does one watery tree allot us, like another 3 slimes or so? Don't know what the ratio is. Somebody should probably figure that out. Depends where you put it, I suppose. Now that and these grapes are kind of underwhelming for production too. I mean, you're getting 2 per, you know? Like, I know I could have gone field grapes. I had 2 opportunities to do so, but then we lose our wine production. And then that's no more elixir slime, you know? I think maybe once you get enough elixir slime in place, you go field grapes. Because in theory, you are planting a bunch of grapes as well, because you're getting the cards every turn. It's just the expansion costs so much money. The land does, you know? So that's one observation I've made here for sure. We're not making millions here, folks. We're kind of scraping by. Beansfield corn. Melter. We'll take the melter. It is, of course, something we're going to have to expand for to get in place. And that's irresponsible of me to expand this turn for sure. That will lose us the game, so let's hold off until next turn while we just look for a lake. Once we get a lake, we can really continue to build this out. Like, I'm thinking barns, I'm thinking all kinds of stuff to just see how much elixir we can humanly get in one turn. But it all starts with the lake. It really does. Alright, let's pay the 125. It'll be next turn when we're able to get more land. More medium fences. Could use those for sure. So let's get our melter down right here. Little popcorn action. Maybe we get the popcorn perk. I believe it quadruples the production of all animals if they eat the popcorn. So that'd be a nice little mixture for our elixir slime here. Making up to 50k a turn though. I mean, that's not terrible, right? 12,000 for the elixir. Sunflower seeds still doing their thing. Popcorn adding some nice income as well. Holding out for a lake. Let's go. More corn. I mean, we have room for it. Man, this elixir slime build, it just gets, your hand gets so populated, just so overpopulated. Really slows you down. It kind of feels like we're just plateauing, doesn't it? A little bit. Like the income's really catching up to us. That's what happens when you're desperately seeking a single card in this game. And there's not much else you can do other than just kind of wait for it. I mean, I could keep building out these islands for sure. I'd love to maximize this one right here with the barn. Be looking at a lot more elixir. But we're unable to do that. If I go barn there, we're done. Be hemorrhaging water. So let's throw our corn here. I know it's not going to get the buff, but it's kind of out of necessity at this point. Sunflower, peanut gnome, more grapes. Gluttonous feast. Every animal produces 2 times per turn. Every 10 turns get +4 production to crops and 3 times production grapes for 5 turns. So this means we'll get double the elixir production. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that and we're gonna see what kind of effect that has on our overall income made per turn. We actually have a respectable amount. So we could continue sort of juicing and fermenting here. So I know we have a fermenter in our hand. We can definitely play that on this island here along with our juicer when it shows up. Let's get our water tank down here. That's a good spot for it. And for elixir slime, I mean, these fences are all filled up. Need a fermenter and a juicer. Can definitely get that in place. Of course, it's hard to tell what you have in your hand when you have these many cards. Let's see, looking for Easter Bunny, looking for a lake. Definitely need the lake, for sure. More sunflowers, I suppose we'll take them. I know it's not flashy, I know it's not great. I mean, we do have 175,000, right? Do I just do it? Do I just do it? Yep. 838. 175k for the water. If we don't get a lake in the time it takes to use up 175,000 water reserve, then the game's just not giving it to us, right? If I lose because of a critical water shortage again, which is quite possible, then that's on me, folks. Although these sunflowers really help. It's over 100 water per turn to each sunflower plate. So that's excellent. You'll love to see that. We actually might be alright. Might not even notice the tiny deficit. What we need the dollars. Here's the Easter Bunny. Alright. So now we're going to be able to kind of take this to the moon. Let's see. I think with the chocolate addiction that we got. So where's a great spot for the Easter Bunny? Probably right here. Right here, surround them with grapes. If we go right here, I mean, that's blue wheat, right? Blue wheat can be adjacent to structures. Maybe we throw them right here. I mean, look at all this. Alright, we're gonna do it. So we can throw this down here. Should still be alright. Throw a medium fence down right here. The Easter Bunny is really going to enable us. So here we go. Now we have an utterly insane amount of chocolate production, just automatically. So that should go and distribute to all of our elixir slimes. Do we just 3 times gold cost to all chocolate bar? All trees placed or to be placed turn into cocoa tree. So that means our water just goes down the drain. Ah, man. Let's grab the female rabbit card. Let's see how we're doing. So the chocolate bar is great, but the elixir at 307, it's starting to creep up there a little bit. Looks like the chocolate's making its way to the elixir slime. I can't quite tell. 351k. Obviously that one Easter Bunny just does magical things. So we'll go right here. We'll get some more grapes down. Need the juicer over here, although this is really low impact stuff. Not really changing anything, not moving the needle much at all. We want to get more elixir slimes in place, obviously. It's nice to have the money to expand, I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and do that. It'd be great to draw a stack of, what? 4 lakes, right? That would be great. But we'll see. The game has been very stingy with the lakes in this particular run. So here's our female rabbit. This will allow us to effectively destroy the game. So the female rabbit and the Easter Bunny go well together. Because what it's going to do is it's going to give me a free Easter Bunny every single turn. And you can take that and just go nuclear with it, of course. Just given the sheer cost that the chocolate bar sells for, you could transition this entire farm from an elixir slime farm into just a chocolate bar farm, and you'd be fine. Take this to turn 200 without an issue at all. Blue wheat, more blue wheats. Yeah, of course, you go more blue wheat. Because you can do this and this. And then if you just get some blue wheat in your hand, gonna be able to just multiply your chocolate bar production. The Easter Bunny, in its current iteration, is just wildly OP. In fact, if you're playing to win, just go Easter Bunny. Although one does need a fence to have the Easter Bunny. Another kind of elusive thing, I suppose, to a certain degree. We are absolutely not getting lakes, though, which is crazy. And somehow in paying what we're paying in water, we're still just fine. Alright, Lake, let's go. Come on now. Another barn. The game is just tempting me. It's saying just go all in. Just be reckless with it. Ah, goodness gracious, man. Oh, oops. I pressed the wrong hotkey. Well, there's an Easter Bunny in there. It's not gonna do anything. Gonna hang out with the elixir slimes, I suppose. So throw some blue wheat there. That was the intention in the first place. And we got just some serious... The game's slowing down quite a bit here on me. And the hand is just simply getting hard to manage. So let's take a look. We're getting 299 elixir per turn. I feel like that's lower than it was. These elixir slimes aren't really producing too much, you know? Like the elixir's cool. It's kind of a rarer thing to have. You know, you have to structure an actual build around getting it. But is it worth it? Is the lemon worth the squeeze? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a fair question to ask. The game is in early access, of course, as everybody knows. Maybe Elixir has plans for the future. Hard to say. But yeah, we are experiencing, with the wheat expansion, with all the cards that are going on, with the chocolate being given to the animals, right, with all of the transactions that are taking place at turn end, the game is having a tough time keeping up. So for the sake of enjoyable content, I mean, I know you don't want to be looking at laggy turn ends every time. I'll try to limit the I'll try to limit making plays that, you know, will cause this slowing effect here. Because we are at a standstill, folks. looking at another essence reward here if it pops up. I mean, weed expansion's good. I like weed expansion. I don't like how it slows the game down though. My goodness. Like, this is redonkulous. It appears, folks, with all of the transactional stuff that's taking place, that the game just is not doing so well with this. And I don't want to have to make you wait that long every single turn. I really don't. Here, we get the popcorn buff. So that's amazing. That's exactly what you want, but that's another transactional thing that's going to be happening now, where the popcorn will be fed. Right? But at the end of the day, we're getting 301 elixir here. So let me end my turn one more time. Maybe the wheat's done growing in. Okay, yep. It's a little better. It's a little better. Blue wheat. I really shouldn't go blue wheat. Hey, here's the lake. Alright. Never mind. Maybe the run has been spared. I just don't want you to have to sit through a bunch of laggy screens. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to sit through that. And whatever's going on, seems like there's a lot of thinking that's going on. But either way, we did get our lakes, which is cool. So let's go ahead and let's get those in place. Let's see just how much water is returned to us. So obviously right here, I did get a barn in my hand, so we'll go ahead and play that right here. So that's going to be another just instant. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. But the production potential is real. So that popcorn, you can see it getting distributed. Looks like we're in the 800, 900 range for the elixir. So we're actually finally making some decent cash on that elixir. So let's end our turn there again. Let's get our lake in our hand. Gnomes. Yeah. Take the gnomes, we'll put those right with our Easter bunny. And really, I believe we just need more fences now. We can actually put our elixir slime in with the Easter bunny as well. There's no harm in that. Other than maybe the time it takes to process. Play a few more cards there. Alright, so let's end our turn there. Let's get the lake in our hand game. Let's go. Alright, so we do have a few lakes in our hand. I just want to witness this. Minus 2421. Play the lake. Plus 3,589. Holy cow. 5,000 plus water tied up in just this spot alone. That's insane. I mean, I get it. You got like the double here for sure. But that is an absurd amount of water for 50k in elixir. You know? It's not even that crazy. It's not even generating that crazy enough of income to really make a difference. So I don't know if that helps you sort of ideate around the idea of elixir slimes being viable or not. That wasn't really the intention of this playthrough. I think the intention of this playthrough, of course, was to break the game with elixir slime and just monstrous elixir production. And we ended up kind of going Easter Bunny because of the chocolate addiction buff that we got. Which I think is... I think it is creating... Because you see the chocolate going into the elixir slime, so it is increasing the production. I mean, animals get plus 20 production per chocolate bar eaten. And we're selling chocolate, so it means each animal is getting a chocolate bar, I think. If I'm reading that tooltip correctly. So that buff, it's doing its thing. And it's part of the reason why we're getting 900 elixir per turn when most of these guys are producing 1s and 2s. Some of them 4s. I think one has to wonder, like, what are the plans for the elixir in the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the plans? Will it be processed in the centrifuge, perhaps? Into, like, elixir or a magic potion or something, right? Is that in the cards? Does the magic potion sell for a good amount of money? Right? I mean, obviously the possibilities are truly endless. But there's gotta be a final form for the elixir for sure. It just feels incomplete right now, which is okay. This game's in early access. They've been really good about, you know, coming out with updates on it, changing some things around. They obviously tweaked the reroll cost, which everybody's aware of. So it's really hard to roll kind of into what you desire to keep your playthrough moving forward, right? Don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it definitely makes the game more challenging. I'll tell you that. I'll give you that. I'll give them that. The tweaked reroll cost definitely changed things. Does it change it for the better? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. What do you think? You think the game's better with the adjusted reroll cost? I don't know if I do. I think it's too extreme. I think it went too extreme. I think maybe if they can just dial it back a few notches. I mean, I agree making the rerolls more expensive does make sense. For sure. Because I felt like it wasn't excessive at all before, unless you know, rolled 20 times. Spent all your cash doing it that way. But now it feels like if you reroll twice, it's like you're paying 3/4 of your bankroll. So I think there's a balance. And I'm sure the developers are looking at that a little closer. Excessive water costs for the elixir slime. The elixir itself is cool. We like that. But is it viable? In this current iteration, I don't think so. I'm gonna just do this. We'll actually throw down the Fantastic Chocolate Factory. I just want to see what happens. I think you kind of get the idea of this run. I think you kind of get the feel for it. To be completely transparent, I wish it was a little more exciting. But I think this is kind of what you're getting with the elixir slime builds right now, and I think this video can kind of serve as a showcase for that. You definitely want to have an infrastructure in place for energy and water. Preferably a surplus of water in the 175,000 range. Just to make sure everything stays kosher. Let's roll for our chocolate factory here. Let's see what it does. Does this do anything? No, that's for sheep. 814k, sure. Bunny Dracula. Should we screw around with this too? Screw around with Bunny Dracula too. We do have a medium fence here. That means Bunny Dracula can go right here. Do we throw it right here? Let's throw Bunny Dracula right here. Should Bunny Dracula and the Easter Bunny share? No, because I'm sure that'll turn the withered crops into chocolate bars. Holy crap, 14 million? When did I get that? Was that because... That one's hard to explain. I should have maybe looked a little bit closer. What happened? What happened? Oh. That's what happened right there. 57,000 chocolate bars. Is it because of the gnome? Yeah, it's because of the gnome, isn't it? Man, what is going on? This game is so zany. I got an Easter bunny right there, adjacent to no crops. So you're telling me this one Easter bunny here, just by these 4 adjacent fields, is making 57,000 chocolate bars? That seems impossible. But maybe it's not. 14 million. I mean, that could be real misleading with the thumbnail for this video for sure, but I probably won't do that. That's some shocking stuff though. Alright, so to give the people what they want, let's see what Bunny Dracula does. Bunny Dracula, here we go. Bunny Dracula... I believe it turns 1 crop per turn, right? Grab more medium fences. 1 crop per turn, Bunny Dracula, what do you think? Yeah, looks like you got this one. There we go, yep. So the wither is spreading. Okay. It's not too exciting yet. Where's my chocolate factory? I want to throw that down too, see what happens. 14 million. This game is zany, man. But I suppose if you're gonna take this to run like 800, return 800, you probably want several of this. Although I still don't understand how the math quite computes. Tropical soil. Cow deluge. We don't have any cows. So let's go tropical soil here at the ripe day of, I think it's 160. I can't see over there. This run is just bonkers, man. Don't have fences, just not getting the stuff that I really need to go nuclear with the slimes. I don't really think we even need to. I think you get the point, right? I wanna play a fantastic chocolate factory. And see what happens for a few turns. And we'll be good. We're already over an hour. Goodness. Hey, here we go. Fantastic chocolate factory, here we go. 3 times gold cost to all chocolate bars. So you know what that does, folks, right? You remember the 15 mil we're making per chocolate bar here? Well, now that should go up to 45 million. But we'll see. And then all of our watery trees will go to cocoa trees, I believe. I guess, let's see. This is a big mystery to me. I have not often screwed around with the fantastic chocolate factory. Let's see. Alright, we have some things happening. We have some wheats regenerating because I planted wheat. I don't know why I did that. Forgot that creates great challenges. Our trees, our watery trees did turn. You can see this right here. Okay. So our nice watery trees have turned into cocoa trees. That was expected. We have a little bit of the wither spreading here. 515 production. What? What is going on? 515 production? No, I mean, no way. What am I missing here, folks? Like, what am I fundamentally not understanding? Plus 5 production per withered carrot in a 2-island range. There's no withered carrots. How does this have... is it the power of the gnome? Like, is the gnome really that OP? Plus 5 production to adjacent island crops. Plus 1 production to crops in a 2-island range for every elixir produced on the farm. There we go, bingo. That makes more sense. The gnome and the elixir slime. That's the key. And I kind of unknowingly backed my way into that. Didn't even realize that, really. That's the key. That's why everything is going nuclear whenever you put a gnome in place. That's why this production is just so wickedly out of control. And that's why we're making 30 mil a turn in chocolate. This is crazy. Alright, so I stand corrected on the aspersions I cast on the elixir slime, of course. The elixir slime gnome combo. Put a little splash of Easter bunny in there. You have yourself a pretty crazy combo. Like an utterly and absolutely game destroying combo. This is insane. I mean, I've seen runs of this game where you get, you know, day what? 4, 5, 600, right? And that bill's like 99 billion, right? 10 trillion, stuff like that. But I feel like this is a pretty good way to get there. The problem is your water, right? What are you gonna do? You will eventually run out. The watery tree isn't a solution. I mean, lakes give you 50 per. Yeah, there's some adjacency maybe, but most of the hot spots are taken. So water would eventually cripple you in this run. What's particularly crippling me though, folks, is the excessive and absurd wait time for each turn to resolve. We have popcorn going in, we have chocolate going in, we have gnomes doing their thing, we have the chocolate factory here just effectively doubling our chocolate bar income. Even though it says it triples it, it's actually only doubling it. A whole lot of zany things going on. We have the wither spreading, right? A whole lot of zany things going on. I do want to try a run with these withered crops. I don't really know what the deal with them is. Elixir slime though, folks. That is the elixir slime. Particularly with the gnome and the elixir production. Creates a pretty crazy combo. So let's end the turn one more time here. Take a look at the overall summary of production. Obviously we'll grab another gnome, why not? Let's take a look. It's hard to see the number here. Looks like 1500 elixir. So we seem to be producing more elixir every turn. So I haven't added elixir slimes in some time. And maybe this fence of them is doing its thing. But either way, what do you think? Do you think elixir's viable? I mean, we know chocolate bars are for sure, but What are your thoughts on the elixir? I think elixir with the gnome is game crushing. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there, folks. We are past the hour 15 mark, and nobody wants to watch a Terracards video that's that long, for sure. Just kind of playing around today. You know, had some fun, had some unexpected things happen, and that's part of the fun of the game. With that being said, though, if you did enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. This is a little unorthodox to how I usually play Terracards, of course. We wanted to get a little zany. We went elixir slime, and then things just kind of started to happen. But let me know, what do you think? Is elixir slime viable? Should they create further production forms for elixir? Is the elixir gnome combo just absolutely busted? Hints? Yes, it is. Especially with the Easter Bunny. That being said, folks, I do appreciate your viewership. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Stay tuned for plenty more content. Coming out with daily content of a variety of games, including Terracards. So that being said, have yourself an excellent day. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.